This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids.
What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and continuing in the spirit of keeping conversation going. Video 5, I guess, in the series of social and I guess political discussion. We're going to talk about liberalism versus conservatism. And just really quick before I get into it, just letting you guys know, I'm not responding to comments on these videos only because, again, like I said before, these are kind of like me decompressing, getting different thoughts out there just for you guys to think about and to discuss. Because I just want to take a little while to just let this all breathe out, and then I'll be engaging in conversation. In fact, I'll be engaging in a conversation during the His Point, Her View podcast about it. So I guess maybe I'm just saving it all up for that. But no, please, like Taz, know that I see your comments and I appreciate them. And Cardiac, you especially, it's funny because you beat me to the punch, because I had already planned on doing this video a couple of days ago after I recorded all the others. But of course I had to work, homework, and today's my day off, so this is where I'm doing it. But I definitely do appreciate your comment, Cardiac, because I agree with a lot of what you said in there, like 100%. So let's get into the topic of liberalism versus conservatism. The reason I wanted to talk about this topic is because for the life of me, I've never understood why we have to have these type of arguments and these types of division. I understand, if you're a part of Republicans and you're a part of the Democrats, it's, I guess, tradition to have that us versus them mentality. But as time has gone on, liberalism and conservatism have become two battle lines. Two battle lines are extremely blurred, in my opinion, because while we label them as left wing, right wing / Republican, Democrat, and I believe I probably got that wrong. Sorry, I should have said Democrat, Republican, because right wingers. Is it conservative? See, this is how much I care about the whole conservative liberal argument, is that I forget who's left, who's right. All I know is it's a bunch of bullshit. Seriously, it's a bunch of serious bullshit. Look, liberalism is not a dirty word, and right now it's being pushed as a horrible thing. People are basically, and I know people who are sitting here laughing at liberals and poking fun because they quote unquote laws and all of that, and just they're blaming them for Trump being president and all this stuff. And it just it saddens me. One, it makes me scratch my head because everybody's so focused on this whole fucking fight between their political ideologies, and it's like, I think you guys are really missing the point. It goes back to what I was mentioning in that Colin Moriarty Facebook rant, which kind of confused me because it just seemed like he was so focused on bashing liberals, and it's like, I don't think that people are crying because a liberal lost. To be quite honest, a liberal didn't lose, in my mind and a lot of people's mind. If it were simply a fact about liberals crying because their person didn't win, I think we already did that, or at least people did that. I honestly don't. Am I a liberal? I have liberal views, but I love some of the conservative views too, but I'll get to that in a second. I guess if like true hardcore liberals were that upset about the person that they want lost, then all the crying and emotion would have probably came out with Bernie Sanders, because compared to Hillary, he is extremely more liberal minded than she is. Liberals honestly never, at least some the liberals I know, I guess I can only speak from experience and from what I know, but most liberals that I know tend not to think of Hillary as a true liberal, which I guess is another reason why the whole thing confuses me, because Hillary has been accused all her career of having views that benefit conservative way of thinking and Republican views. So how she's all of a sudden, I mean, maybe because she worked for Barack Obama, I don't know. If somebody could please explain to me where she got this big turn where everybody wants to dump the liberal bashing on her, let me know, because I remember where she used to get called out for not really being a liberal at times. So again, I guess it's just another case of people framing things the way they want for when it can benefit them. I don't know. But yeah, see, this is the thing. People's tears and the fear that they have and the anger and the bewilderment, I don't think it has anything to do with a liberal loss. And I've said this in previous videos, and I'll say this again. I think more than anything, those who are upset are people who to lose personally, not, you know, just not something like Obamacare. It's not even about Obamacare. It's not about gun laws. You know, it's not about environmental stuff. It's real personal stuff. As I've said before, I have Muslim friends who are worried. We have seen Muslims get harassed just for being Muslim now since the election. I just saw an article from a pro wrestler, Goldust, aka Dustin Reynolds, who went off yesterday because his stepson is transgender and they got attacked. I saw an article where a Pakistani actor from the show Silicon Valley, who was hanging out with another actor from the show, they were confronted in a bar by two young men who were trying to get them to tell them what their political views were and whether or not they were fans of Trump and how they felt about Trump. They were like accosting them, and the bartender had to like kick them out because they weren't going to back down. They wanted to get into an argument or a fight with these two actors who were just at the bar. You know, other stuff. We've seen some other stuff come up, and it's like that's the stuff that's worrying people, because again, as I said, it's not Trump the man. It's not Trump the policies. Because to be quite honest, we really don't have any concrete policies from him yet. Let's be fair. But it's the rhetoric that he used. They're talking about kicking Muslims out, and they're talking about, you know, building that wall and stuff like that. That is stuff that has incensed a group of people in this country who are starting to now act out on all of this. You know, they're going after gays, lesbians, transgenders, Latinos, Muslims. African Americans are getting harassed. And then you got the flip side where you got the people who are just taking their anger that Trump won and they're beating up people just because they voted for Trump. The fuck type of shit is that? That's the dumbest shit. And it's all being pegged as, you know, the liberals getting upset and all of this, and it's just like, no. This is about human beings being upset. And these are about some very bad people doing some very bad things that they shouldn't do. This is about right and wrong. And that's why I never understood the liberal versus conservative thing, because, again, going back to what I touched on earlier, I do have liberal, viewpoints, but there's nothing wrong with conservatism. There are things that you do need to be conservative on. You have to be smart. That's why I've always preached, like, if you find a Republican that you think is someone who's worthy of your vote, vote for them. I'm not going to tell you not to vote Republican. I'm not going to vote straight down the line Democrat just because I put that shit on my card. That doesn't define, like, how I vote. And I wish people would stop ponying up for side to side. I think we've moved way beyond that. I think that whole Democrat versus Republican thing has grown tiresome. That whole liberal versus conservative thing has grown extremely ridiculous and unnecessary. It should always be about what's best for everyone and what's best for this country. So if a liberal is coming at the table with ideology and viewpoints that sound good, and you're a conservative or Republican, however you want to label yourself, you should owe it to yourself to say, yeah, I'm good with that. I like what he's thinking. Same thing with liberals. If you could, again, I kind of wish he never had went the way he went. I don't think he went the way he went. I think it was just party pressure for John McCain when he ran against Obama that first time. Had John McCain ran as the John McCain I've always known and respected and loved, it would have been a very difficult choice for me who to vote for. But once they started like pushing him more towards that, no, you have to be the anti-liberal candidate, and we need to get you this crazy lady who is just all about being uber anti-liberal and all of this, then you'll win. No. And I think that's where, again, Hillary lost, is that she went way too all in on her anti-conservatism. It would have worked had she not insulted people. But she insulted the voters. And she insulted the American people. And that shit backfired. It came back to haunt her. But yeah, I just need it to always be about the issues, and that's the thing. It's never been about the issues. This whole reaction to the election, we're not upset because, again, for somebody like me who doesn't necessarily identify themselves as like a full-on 100% liberal or I guess Democrat either, but even when you take people who did, it's not all of us who are upset. Again, we're not upset because one political side got the best of us. It's really a lot more deeper than that. And for those of you who dismiss that, God bless you for your naivety or your ability to continually want to push this fight between two sides. It's not a fight between two sides. People are very concerned about the way that this country is going to turn. So many years had been fought before dealing with racism, sexism, bigotry, things like that. Homophobia and things, again, it's never been a perfect place. It may never be a perfect place, but there's been progression, and people fear that progression being taken away now. The things that we have built up, nobody wants to see that gone. the goodwill, the being able to accept someone because they're gay, being able to get along with somebody despite their religious views or their race. We don't need that tension being brought out. We don't need, and again, I beg, I plead that those who now have power speak loudly and vehemently about what's going on and denounce any of the negativity that's going on. Don't just be like, oh, and that's it again. For all people I know who are sitting up there chiding quote unquote liberals for rioting, you need to be fucking harassing the fuck out of people who claim to be on your side, who are harassing little fucking kids, talking about build the wall, teaching their kids to say that shit to them in school. You need to come at both sides. Like I come at all sides. Do I think that people rioting, tearing shit up is right? No. Do I think beating up a Trump supporter is right? No. Fuck that. That's asinine. It's dumb. I need to, like, the way my voice sounds when I say that shit, I need the same reaction for all you motherfuckers out there who are getting glee out of fucking people who you feel are liberal and are happy to see them upset that Trump won. You need to get just as passionate. If you don't, then you know what? You are very much a part of the problem of this country, is that you're allowing all this negative stuff to slip by because you want to take personal pleasure out of some stupid archaic fight between two political views. And fuck you very much if you dismiss that shit. I have no words for you. I have none, because you are showing a serious lack of human compassion, and that's the biggest problem. Is that it's never been about the people. It's always about certain agendas or viewpoints, and frustrates me. But anyway, I'm done for now. As always, you guys hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Makers, and I'm out. Deuces.